Hello, I'm Charlene of the Rainbow Frequency, and I'm coming on this morning to see where Spirit takes us, see who joins in, see if we can have some exchange. I will gladly draw a card for you, either tarot or oracle. If you have just a question, I am an energy balancing practitioner and psychic medium. Through many different ways, I receive information. I can't tell you everything, but whatever comes through, I will gladly share with you for the highest good of all involved. So thank you for joining me. And again, if you would like for me to draw you a personal card, I will happily do so. Chime in if you want anything in particular, like a brief guided meditation. But I like doing these and seeing what people want, what happens in the mix organically, because it's fun. So yeah, I'm going to go a little slow. I hope that you all are doing well. I very much appreciate the community that we create on these platforms. I really do appreciate your likes, your comments, your shares, all of that jazz. So cheers to you. Happy whatever time it is for you when you're watching this. If you're watching it live, we just had a new moon in Capricorn. And there's some big shifts going on with Pluto. So there's a lot of transformation that we've been going through. Some might even say slogging through in the last few years. You know, Pluto doesn't move quickly. So it's something that it's getting ready to shift into Aquarius, which is it's something that is pretty epic in my opinion. Do I have a fan near the camera? It's hard to hear me. Oh, sorry, my hand's in the way. I don't know if that helps at all with the volume being turned up. Technology is the hardest part of my job. Tell me if the volume being turned up just helped. I'm also recording this on YouTube, so I don't know if you want to check it out on YouTube instead. And perhaps the computer, the two things. Oh, here, does that help? Oh, I just took a screenshot and my hand is all up in this. So good at this. Here, let's try this. Live in action. All right. How do you like me now? Does that sound better? I'll give you a moment. It's funny. I don't know why I do this to myself with two screens, you know. Loving that feeling like Batman. Anyway, so do. Oh, there we go. So I'm going to just see if you guys comment on whether or not that helped with the microphone. And I'll just keep rambling on about what I was saying. So we had a new moon in Capricorn, and we have Pluto making some moves, which it is some energy that can be arduous. It doesn't have to be. You know, we're all different. We all have different alignments in our star charts, our birth charts, astrologically speaking. I'm going to turn off the music too. ADHD, party of one. See if there's just too much going on and it's creating static, which does make me laugh because it goes with what is going on around us in general, right? There's a lot going on. And it is here to mix things up, shake things up, help us release old patterns that we've been holding on to for a long time. There's a lot of addressing karma going on. Pluto is very much about going down deep into those depths of the self, those dark places, to get our power back, to transform ourselves, to find our magic. It's linked to our sexual energy, which to me, and not just me, but it's that that link between sex and power is that Kundalini energy. There's a light and a shadow side to everything. I look at it more from a yin and yang perspective than necessarily a good and bad perspective. And it's about that balance, which is what I'm all about, which you meet in the middle of that so that you can find that good, healthy equilibrium. So that's a lot that we've been facing. We have gone through, in this period of time that we're experiencing, similar planetary configurations or cosmic body configurations as the American Revolution, different periods of great change, discord, evolution of culture, of consciousness. It's something that we've been cyclically trekking through since the dawn of time. So be proud of yourselves, be happy that you're alive, that you get to experience such great movement. But that's part of what helps, no matter where you go, if you're looking into spiritual advisement, being out in nature is one of the number one things that they talk about. It's a combination of elements of things that really, really help a person in that equation. It's the sunlight, it's the antioxidants from plants around you, it's the being out there with your feet on the earth. Nowadays they make machines that you can get that emit terahertz, which will help you get that grounding in your homes or in your office or wherever you are, which is really cool. I'm not discounting the fact that it exists, and for some people they can't get outside, so it's very lovely that they can have that. But at the same time, get your butts outside. If you can get out there, do it. Especially in the harder months, like when it's winter. I feel like I'm nagging mom at the moment, but when it's winter and it's darker, getting out and taking advantage of being out there in the sun. And like the sun, I read recently, like fuels and recharges your body. The moon is something that fuels and recharges your intuition, that more emotional part of yourself, so to speak. Now, I'm not limiting it to that whatsoever, but at the same time, I like that. So that's why it's important to get healthy doses of different things around you to create, again, the rainbow frequency, that full chakra, full rainbow of healthy balance around you. It's, if you are interested in applying yourself, it's dramatic self-transformation to really step into your fully empowered, divine, badass self if you dare to accept the challenge. much. You do dare. So that's why you're here. I'm super excited. I'm very passionate about this subject. I love meeting with people. I mean, whether I was behind the chair as a hairstylist, I love meeting with people and helping them feel good about themselves from the inside out, feeling like their unique composition is awesome and they can't wait to play with it, or, you know, like instead of fighting your hair, work with it and let it be that extension of yourself and personality instead of trying to look like someone else. I mean, it's always been something a bit deeper and more intimate to me than superficial. I'm here to get down and dirty and help you release blockages, baggage, trauma. Anywho, so nobody's asking me to do anything in particular, so I'll just keep on keeping on. What currently, archetype-wise, would best serve us as a collective in this current energy that we're facing, in this quest for personal transformation, both individually and collectively? The maiden. I love it. Sorry, itchy. This time of year. It's a funny time of year. So, the maiden. To me, the first thing that pops into my mind is it's a maiden voyage. What does that mean? In a sense, it's much like getting into that childlike state of mind to really see the world from a fresh perspective. But at the same time, with the maiden energy, the maiden, as opposed to the child, is someone who's a bit older and ready to kind of step out on their own more independently and experience the world from that fresh perspective and kind of soften and open up to the magic. Again, there's a balance to all that. I'm not saying get out there and be vulnerable in negative ways, but at the same time, like, let yourself soften and be open to doing what you love from the heart, from a creative place. You know, there's a bit of that womb space, which is a bit like the void, if you look at it in that way, which is that blank canvas where things can develop. So that's the energy I feel from this maiden card and the colors. There's shells, there's the flowers, you know, there's this forest around the shell in the right here. And I'm sorry, this isn't a shell. It's a female form. Anywho, so get grounded, really get rooted in yourself, mind, body, and spirit. Really connect with your spiritual team, your guides, guardians, your helpers, your ancestors, whatever you want to call that spiritual connection that you feel perhaps when you meditate, do yoga, qigong, or outside in nature. I mean, heck, washing dishes for me is also another way that I can get into that mindset. So it doesn't really matter where you are and what you're doing. You can get to that inner place, that connectivity to that universal energy that surrounds us, that's available to help us heal, to help us get through what we're experiencing, to learn through what we're experiencing. I really do believe you're an eternal soul and a human physical vessel here to learn from experience and remember who you are. So it's just that, like, let yourself open up, be grounded and tuned into your intuitive self. And be open for newness. Be open for things to unfold in a new way, because we are shifting into different energy. So let it be different. That's part of why they say not to hold on to the past, take the lessons and then let it go. Because much like in a dating scenario, if you have a negative experience with somebody and then you start dating someone new and then you hold that new person to the same almost like you hold that new person accountable for what the previous person had done to you, that's ridiculous, right? Like, when you step out and you think about it from a rational perspective, why would you do that to somebody? So it's the same thing with this new energy that we're stepping into. Let go of the past, take the lessons, bless it, and move on. It's not always as easy as I make it sound, of course, but at the same time, in some senses, you are your own jailer, so let it be easy if you can. All right. Now, what are we alchemizing through? And at the moment, I'm a little Kim Kranz heavy, using the Wild Unknown decks, but I really do love them. And they really do help see through what we're going through. All right, so wait for it. I'll show you the card in a second. All right, we got Neptune, which again is very much about still going into those depths and finding clarity from a more magical perspective. All right, Neptune, divinity, mysticism, seeking. Neptune is the mystic's planet. Its transcendent energy projects towards the heavens. When the Neptune card appears, the seeker archetype is activated and doorways to new dimensions open. A voice whispers from beyond the earthly plane, perhaps calling you to a pilgrimage or a spiritual practice, or you may experience a meditative bliss beyond your wildest dreams. Divinity has arrived. Whether you call it nirvana, samadhi, enlightenment, or just good old serenity, amidst your spiritual awakening, remember that ultimately, the work is not about you. The work is about what's bigger than you. Stay grounded in that reality, and you're likely to avoid Neptune's pitfalls of narcissism and escapism. History shows us examples of spirituality turned madness, so keep your woo-woo tendencies in balance with a little selfless service. Go deeper. Pick up a spiritual text that you haven't read in a while. Reread it as if for the first time, which goes well with the maiden. To ponder forgiveness as medicine. Oh, I love that. And a lot of times we have to forgive ourselves. That's the last hardest part, right? Neptune, Jupiter, and Pluto are said to be gods and brothers, reigning over the heavens, the earth and the underworld, respectively. Which brother do you identify with the most? So yeah, ponder. Which of those realms, Neptune, Jupiter, or Pluto, speaks most to you as an individual? Recall the first moment you experienced Neptune's energy, perhaps a godlike encounter when you were young. There is a key in this memory. Write about it today. So again, I was speaking of the many ways to connect to that spiritual side of yourself or to spirit. Again, you quantify how you want to view this in your own way. It's your belief system. But the ways I have found, and many people have found, to get there, or just ways in which I found the communication to be at hand, we'll say. Journaling is a great way. In anything, whether it's journaling, drawing, where you take yourself out of that critical hyper awareness where you have expectations from what you're doing, and you just let it flow out of you. Go to that no mind state. Go to that flow space and let it just come out and see what develops. That's why I really do encourage people to get into divination, because like through getting into using a divination tool, you can see after a while of, like, say you pull a card a day, you can see if there's a theme, or you keep pulling the same card and you get to see that synchronicity in action. That's where I find you can't ignore it when it keeps beating you over the head with the same card. Because we as humans, one of the hardest things is that we tend to dismiss what comes in. We tend to question ourselves and even that inner knowing so much so that it cripples us sometimes. I myself, I've been really leaning into this. I've been doing it. I still, even though I can channel yoga moves that I don't know, I still feel like, well, I should go get trained because I don't know what I'm doing. And I really need somebody to tell me that I'm doing it right. And it's just like, why am I questioning spirit when this is my job to trust and communicate? And but yet I'm like, wait, unless I learn it in a very human, practical way and I get that certificate, is it valid? Oh my goodness, stop. Stop. There's methods, or there's merits, that's the word I'm looking for, to both ways of going about it. Sure, you need discipline, you need structure. You want to make sure that you are in the right position if you're speaking about yoga, but at the same time, as a trance medium, as someone who channels information and gets to have such a blessing, why the hell am I questioning and having to double check myself every step of the way? It is a little fun to do the research and see how it all comes together. So again, it's that cerebral part of myself, it's that ego part of myself, it's that insecure part of myself that I have to look at it all, see the big picture of what's going on, try to step outside of it, and then breathe and let it all come together as to what's the right way forward for me in that moment. In my opinion, if you meet somebody who's a spiritual healer or a guide, and they try to act like they're above the human experience and that they don't get flustered or flummoxed from time to time, I think that's bollocks. I love that word. I think it's silly. I think it's horseshit, because you're a human being. No matter how advanced you are, things are going to pop up and rattle you so that you can learn something new, so that you can apply what you've learned in a new way, so that you can, to me, if you're not learning and growing, you're dead, right? Anyway, going on and on and on. But I also like that there's a building theme here with the water as well. We all have the capability of being mediums. We are this vessel that is very conductive, right? And water amplifies and aids in that conductivity. Oh, the 2 camera angles are driving me mad. Ooh. Anyway, so work through the uncomfortability. That's something too that I keep hearing lately, and I really like this bit of guidance, is that if you're embarking into something new that you haven't experienced before, of course it's going to be uncomfortable. Of course there are going to be moments where you're going to have to stop and collect yourself and like, okay, instead of panicking and like giving up, breathe, settle. don't like and like run into a wall. I've done that. It's just that, like, expect the unexpected. Expect it to be a bit uncomfortable because you are stepping into new territory. You are growing through this experience. It is different. You have to acclimate, It's hard in the moment to remind yourself to do it, but do it. So they also brought up meditation, and I had mentioned that, and it was something that I had been thinking about. So let's take a moment, if you choose to just do a quick meditation. I really do like moving meditation quite a bit. It can be easier to sink in through movement for a lot of people, but I'm going to do this quickly. And so just get comfortable if you choose to join in. You can sit, you can lie down. I mean, you can even stand. It's up to you. But take a deep breath in through your nose, hold it momentarily, and exhale. Nobody needs or wants you at this time. Deep breath in, hold it momentarily. It's my intention to aid you in your highest good in ways that delight you, mind, body, and spirit. Exhale fully. Another deep breath in. Hold it momentarily. And as you exhale, imagine yourself as a seed or a bulb deep within the belly of the earth. Deep breath in. Hold it momentarily. And as you exhale, imagine roots starting to grow down from your hips, down your pelvis, groin, thighs, knees, shins, calves, ankles, and feet, down through any and all surfaces, descending through all the layers of the earth, till they connect to the crystalline grid. You give thanks for this support, all the various properties, and then your roots travel further still, intertwining to form a cord that then wraps around the heart center of the earth. You give thanks for this support, and in exchange, all this vital energy travels up through your roots, back up through the layers of the earth, collecting all the vital minerals and nutrients needed for your well-being right now, for where you are on your healing journey, all the way back up through the soles of your feet, up through your ankles, up your shins and calves, up through your knees, up through your thighs, groin, up your pelvis. Deep breath in, hold it momentarily, and as you exhale, crack open and burst forth shoots, stretching ever upward through the soil. Up, up, up you grow through your abdomen, stomach, torso, chest, shoulders, arms, hands, fingers. Up you break through, up your head, strands of your hair stretching ever upward in the light. You grow into your plant body, reaching up through the air, past the clouds, breaking through to the cosmos. There you connect to the Celestine grid. And you go further still till you intertwine around your center or centers in the cosmos. You give thanks for this support. And in exchange, all this high frequency, high vibrational energy washes down through your plant body. The energies of above and below now flowing through you as they should, in, out, and back again, flowing like blood through the chambers of a sacred heart. You are grounded. You are centered. You are in your sacred circle, a divine being, your energy protected and contained. Only that which is in your highest good can come through. All else is deflected, transmuted as needed. Take a moment to feel the love of the universe, the universal energy that surrounds, that wishes to support you. Wrap it around you. Feel swaddled. In your plant body, see yourself. See yourself firmly rooted in your sacred space, in your terrain. Let yourself perceive that which is around you, your supporters, your allies, the medicine needed at this moment in time. Feel the connectivity, the oneness. Take it all in. Deep breath. Let your senses stretch out. Now release anything not in your highest good. Let your plant body detoxify and filter out, releasing, releasing, releasing for your holistic, highest good in ways that delight you. Release, detoxify, and then draw in all the vital energy, the antioxidants, all that's available to you to promote your wellness, healthy balance, and equilibrium. Helping you on all levels, all ways, shapes, and forms, from your cells to your blood, your bones, all your systems, your aura, your energy, all parts and pieces of you. Healed, brought into alignment for your highest good right now, for where you are in your healing journey, so that you can best move forward. Deep breath in, hold it momentarily. Know that you can come back to this space at any time. It is yours. See yourself again, your plant body, your sacred space. Place a hand on your heart and on your stomach. And now come back all the way, which you have come all the way back into your body in the here and now. Start to wiggle, squirm, stretch. And when you're ready, open your eyes. If you like, chime in or tell me at a later date what you saw yourself as in your plant form. I would love to hear it. Journal about these things that you might have experienced in this meditation. What was there with you? What did your sacred terrain look like? If you do this regularly and often, does it change? Are you always the same? Are there things that come and go in this space? Over time, I have gone many places, and then after a while I realized that they're connected, and it's like this whole realm, which is super exciting to me. So, play, be that maiden, take that maiden voyage if you haven't already started doing this for yourself, or if you have done it, let yourself expand into new horizons. All right, I'm going to pull some tarot. Again, I would love to hear from you in the comments, but no pressure. I'm going to take a moment before I read all of the cards to you. Oh, I'm going to wave. It is funny. I was in a meeting recently for an event that I have coming up, which I'm very excited about. I can't wait to tell you all about it, but pins and needles, you have to wait. But I told them that psychic, easy. Technology, that's the hard part. And it is, we're expanding. Part of that Aquarian energy is expanding into new technologies, making advancements, humanitarianism, but sometimes from a remote perspective. All right. Also, before I read the cards, I have just posted on Instagram, and I'll put a link to this on YouTube as well. But I have started up doing a moving meditation class for energy balancing, where I meet with people online in a virtual meeting in a more than one-on-one setting. I also have it online to where we can do it one-on-one, because I do like one-on-one interaction a lot. But opening myself up to these sort of ways to meet with people. I last year did more locally walks out in nature with people, which I'm also going to do as well. But the weather can really put a hindrance on these activities. So I decided that if you can't do it the way that you want to do it, how can you make it work? So doing these things online where we do various energetic movements, activities to balance ourselves, to center ourselves, release blockages, and really get moving and shaking, because it does help. And I really do like teaching people regular, easy ways to take care of themselves, because it doesn't have to be super complicated. Anyway, all right, so to the tarot. We got Four of Wands as the bottom of the deck, which I see as the overarching theme to the reading. Now, the Four of Wands is an amazing card. Fours speak about foundation, balance, creating that stability. The Four of Wands, some people call it the 1111 card, the happy home card. It's really drawing from that spiritual plane, from your passion, from your soul, and bringing into balance what you want to have on the material plane, what you want to be working with, how you want to create your magic in the material plane. And this is a beautiful card of being able, through that loving self-care and discipline, to do this for yourself. So again, let go of the past, let go of all that tension and conflict that we might have been going through. Exhale and let it be new. Let it be fresh in all the ways that it can be, or that it would like to shift into being. Really create a solid foundation for yourself of spiritual practice, self-care, rituals, to help you have that solid foundation to work from. Where we are now, we got the Temperance card. Beautiful, 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 beautiful. One of my favorite ways that this has been articulated is that see yourself as the kitchen witch, bringing all the ingredients into balance so that it has that perfect construction. Again, balance, balance, balance. Bring it into balance. I love this card. There's a scarab above her head. She has a crown of roses. There's this snake wrapped around her. She's holding these cups. You have this sacred geometry. Scarabs, in a nutshell, we'll just break this down simply. Scarabs digest shit so that things can transform. Yeah. The snake is representative of that ancestral and divine feminine wisdom that in our lifetime, we go through many different cycles of shedding old skins, belief systems, letting go of sometimes what we've come into this lifetime with, transforming it into the pain into power. These cups, I see this as being that divine masculine and divine feminine energies bringing into balance. Lately, instead of seeing the Aquarian energy as a figure holding two pitchers that are pouring out equally, they've switched it for me to where one's up and one's down, so that spirit or what have you can fill your cup and the excess can pour out into the earth. So it's that reciprocal, even exchange. The crown of roses, again, that roses, you heal from the inside out. I love that it's on her head. From the crown on down is one way that I think about healing. There's more than just the crown down, but anyway, so do this, be this, know that this is happening, be patient. If you're cooking a soup or a stew, it takes time. Or if you're brewing tea, right? You got to let it steep. Okay, I'm going to try to wave more at you all. Hello. Oh, thank you all for being here. Okay, so then the challenge is that we got perspective. This is, I believe, the Hangman card in this deck. And it's just that, again, like, this person's flipped on their head. They're seeing things from a new perspective. So again, don't hold the present accountable for the past. Now that is some deep wisdom. Like, yeah, right? Like, we learn from past experiences. We learned from history so that we don't repeat things forward. There isn't just a black and white way of looking at these things, right? It's nuanced. There's so much information there. For example, too, like, and I wish I could remember the culture. I need to go back and find this program for myself so I can stick it in my brain better. But there's a show called Museum Secrets, and they go to different museums around the world and their archives that aren't shown to the public and see some cool stuff. One of the episodes went into shed some light on this culture that for a really long time had been vilified as these awful baby sacrificing people. And then come to find out, when technology changed and they could really analyze what they were seeing, they realized that instead of being awful baby killers, these people had burial sites paying homage and love and respect to all the babies that had died in childbirth or during pregnancy. So it was an act of love, not awfulness. So it's just, again, let things shift. Let your perspective change as it might do, like ways that you might have seen yourself. Let them go that aren't accurate or in alignment with where you are now. Again, for the world around you or people, like, allow for change. Be receptive to the fact that things are always changing. We can't really control that, right? So instead of being tense and defensive, do your best in a healthy way. Use discernment. Really, really breathe and practice those healthy self-care ways so that you can be your best self and healthily aware and in sync with your mind, body, and spirit to best utilize and work with the changes, the developments, all the things around you at this time. This person is holding a feather, they're on their head, kind of, you see this cosmos kind of coming into alignment with their crown chakra. So it's just that's the challenge, to do this. That's hard. A lot of times change is very hard for people. Changing perspective is very hard for people. We love to hold on to things as human beings. That's part of why I do enjoy working with buildings, land, and animals, objects, is that they don't have that ego attachment of holding on to the wound or holding on to whatever it is like we do as humans. So it's just, that's the challenge. Be more like a dog. Just kidding. Be more like a cat. Anyway, then the outcome. We got the Knight of Crystals, which is the Knight of Pentacles or coins. For some people, this might not be as easy of energy because it is very slow and steady progress. So, as a Capricorn, as a sun sign person, I really love the Knight of Pentacles. Slow and steady progress that's very stable. Yes. Now, it can be hard to be patient and let it build at that pace because you're excited, right? I know that feeling too. But at the same time, it's just like, slow your roll. While you might be excited and want to get there very quickly, let it be built in a very solid, stable foundation way. Trust the process. Allow for the universe to surprise you and aid you as opposed to seeing it as the enemy. So I'm gonna pull one more card, and again, if anybody wants to say anything, ask me anything, this is your time. Be brave. Speak to me. All right, from our shadow side, what is the loving advice? Again, I am a small business of one. If you'd like to work with me, there are many ways to get me. In my bio section, there are links. I will post it in the description box, all the things. And I do very much appreciate you all for being here with me. All right. Good morning, Leslie. Thank you for speaking. And Flight Risk, thank you for your comment as well. Oh, hello. It's hilarious. And this is why I pull from many different decks. Because you can't argue when the message repeats and it comes at you from different angles. Ground. I love that. And if you see in this card, there's this mountain with this beautiful dragon coiled up around it. I very much love mountain pose in yoga. I love the mentality. Like, a lot of times people get very focused on wanting to be at the top of the mountain. They think that's the best part, but the jewels are often deep within the mountain. Yeah. You are the mountain. You are the dragon. You know, the dragon can have that shadow side of being like a greedy power treasure hoarder when it's not in balance, right? But it also can be that arcane, deep power and wisdom that you hold within you. In your astrology chart, your birth chart, you have a north node and a south node. And you have, in my opinion, in many people's opinions, in some people's opinions, however that should be said, you marry these two dragons together within yourself so that you can achieve ultimately what you're here on that quest, that quest of self, that alchemy of self that you're here to perform. Love it, love it, love it. Flight Risks on YouTube says that their north node is in Sagittarius, which I love. Like, again, these are just brief statements, nutshells. Sagittarius is the explorer, the philosopher of the zodiac. Flight Risk also says that there's only fire in their chart. Wow, that's amazing. Wow, that's incredible. But again, that's why you have to really work to bring those other elements in to keep yourself balanced, right? That's Flight Risk. We really need to get together and chat one day. We really do. Okay, so ground. Harness your power. Instead of vilifying the dragon as the enemy, befriend the dragon. Again, bring it all into balance. Another thing I do, I will see myself in my sacred space with my spiritual team, and we're all around this bonfire, and we're feeding the fire, putting offerings on the fire, releasing things into the fire, being transformed and made stronger in the fire. And then I'm also recognizing that I am the bonfire. So I am feeding myself in this situation as well. It's a good alchemical experience if you choose that seems like it would be good for you. I love it. Oh, and if you look really closely, and I'll give you all their close-ups, there's this doorway in the mountain, that portal that they were speaking of. And then a lot of times in my meditations, I'll have the person see a doorway in their plant body and go inside. And then a lot of times in my meditation, inside that sacred space, you have everything that you need or want. You have your guide there that then feeds you and takes care of you in various ways for further healing and care. So do these things for yourself. I'm sorry, Flight Risk. I totally misread what you were saying. That's the only fire you have. That makes more sense as to how I know you. It's hard to read this tiny print. That's one of my other things. I'm 46 and the eyeballs have gone completely in a different direction. That just sounded like I was wall-eyed. Anyway, you are the fire. That's beautiful. Well, and that's too, like you're learning to master that within yourself and bring it out, because in a previous life or in this lifetime, really stepping into that power has been hard. Anyway, I'm getting all sidelined into talking just to Flight Risk. But again, I do love the dialogue and the interaction. Because I was going to say, you were so grounded. I didn't see that you didn't have that energy in your chart. Anyway, I could go on and on and on about these conversations forever. And I'll say it again. I say it in every single live I do. The more you know yourself, the better you can work with yourself, ground yourself, understand what's going on, instead of vilifying it or not knowing how to best work with it, right? Anyway, so anywho, again, I'm going to say one more time. I'm going to do one more card and wrap it up on this. If anyone has anything left that they want to throw out there, please do. I very much appreciate you. And I do. I love conversation. I love making friends. All right. Oh, that's funny. Okay. From the chakras, what do we need to work on? What is the guidance? Workaholic is the card. And I love that these people are making art, but still it's workaholic. It's that don't get over consumed. Really, you have to maintain that balance. Blue is the throat chakra. It's communication. It's our past lives. It's our truth. And it's speaking of keeping things in balance. Like even like if you're doing a creative pursuit, like quite literally with this card with the art, like even an artist can become so consumed that they don't feed themselves, that they don't care for themselves and the ways that are needed as a human vessel. Previously, from a astrological, anthropological viewpoint, we were in the Piscean age, which was very much in part about survival mode. And a lot of our cultures have become very focused on our work life and the hindrance or creating the imbalance of our personal lives, our family lives, really making it so that we have to really tell people over and over to spend time in nature and to practice self-care, right? That's why we're here. So it's just that, like, even in the passion projects, balance that out. Listen to your own needs, your own inner voice. When your body, when your mind is tired, listen. Also, again, like if we're really trying to work on communication, being in our truth, part of the advice is also like go easy on it. Like that one card where they say dial back the woo-woo to keep it in balance. Like that temperance card, all parts and pieces brought to the table in a healthy, balanced way. That's what this is saying. Don't get so caught up even in the healing that you lose sight and balance with the other parts of your life as well. So apply this everywhere that you can and keep that in mind for yourself. Like you're trying to work through these changes and be your best self. Rome wasn't built in a day, nor did it fall in a day. So balance and go with that flow. We always think as humans that we can expect things to be at a static flow, and it's not. Things ebb and flow. It's cyclical. So go with the flow. Go with the energy that you're in at the moment. Honor where you are instead of fighting against it, right? Anywho, best wishes, all the love. Go get them, Tigers. I'm here for you. I will also post a picture of these cards for you. Please feel free to talk to me outside of this platform if you choose to. My email address is therainbowfrequency77@gmail.com. Love to hear from you. Love to hear about what plant body you were. Anything. Talk to me. See you next time. Over and out. Again, follow me on YouTube because the sound quality is better if you like. I'm as many places as I can think of. LinkedIn, Pinterest. As a small business, the social media is guerrilla marketing. Anyway, best wishes, all the love. Thank you so much. I really do adore you all. And